Russian military units have continued to secure incremental territorial gains across multiple fronts in eastern Ukraine, notably achieving a breakthrough in the northern Kharkiv region for the first time in several months. This underscores the ongoing need for Kyiv to obtain additional ammunition and weaponry from the United States and its allies. The recent pattern of warfare has shifted since the capture of Avdiivka in February, with Russian forces making consistent, albeit limited, advances on a daily basis. These advances are typically minor, spanning a few hundred meters to a kilometer, and occur simultaneously at various points. From Ukraine's standpoint, these territorial losses are increasingly being met with public criticism directed at the Ukrainian military for perceived inaccuracies in their official battlefield communications. In particular, intense Russian military activity is being reported near several small settlements both northeast and south of Okiratan, a significant village situated on an elevation approximately 16 kilometers west of Avdiivka, within the Donetsk region. Concurring assessments from military bloggers representing both sides indicate that Russian troops have successfully crossed a water barrier and assumed control over the settlements of Semenivka and Berdichi. Additionally, the village of Solovayov, located a few kilometers to the north, is now reportedly under Russian control, with the small settlement of Karamik also partially seized. Ukrainian military blogger Myroshnikov has noted the ongoing retreat within the Donetsk operational zone, expressing concern that Russian forces may soon advance southward toward Kharlivka. This move could potentially allow them to cross the Vovcha River and link up with other Russian units advancing westward from the recently captured Pervomaysky. The accuracy of military communications has come under scrutiny, with both Myroshnikov and the Deep State platform criticizing official Ukrainian military statements for not accurately reflecting the situation on the ground. Deep State highlighted this discrepancy by sharing a graphic video on Telegram depicting the death of a Russian soldier in a drone strike in the village of Solovayov. The group used this footage to argue that such isolated incidents are overshadowing the broader reality, which they claim is being misrepresented by the military. Deep State's commentary suggests that, while the destruction of a Russian soldier can be viewed indefinitely with satisfaction, it distracts from the more pressing issue of Russian forces maintaining control over nearby areas. They contend that, despite Ukrainian defense forces inflicting damage on Russian troops, the repeated national television assertions that 2/3 of Solovayov village remains under Ukrainian control do not align with the actual situation. This assessment contrasts with the statement made by Nazar Voloshin, spokesperson for the Khortytsia Operational Strategic Group, who appeared on Ukrainian television, claiming that 2/3 of both Solovayov and the nearby Okiratan are still under Ukrainian control, and that the situation is manageable. Voloshin assured that the sections of the settlements breached by enemy forces are under Ukrainian fire control, with efforts underway to dislodge the Russian troops. He emphasized that, despite heavy combat, the Ukrainian armed forces maintain control over the situation. However, Deep State's perspective differs, asserting that Russian forces have controlled the center of Okiratan village, including the railway station, for at least 3 days. The monitoring site previously expressed similar concerns, accusing certain military spokespersons of incompetence. In his television interview, Voloshin also addressed the heightened activity of Russian forces in the northern part of the Kharkiv region Frontline, noting a significant increase in their operations over the past day. Although Russian forces had previously made minor territorial gains in the region in late January and early February, Deep State has identified a new advancement of 1 to 2 kilometers into the village of Kislivka, Despite these developments, the front lines in this area have largely remained stable since Ukraine's recapture of a substantial portion of the Kharkiv region in late summer 2022. Russian military units are also progressing west of Donetsk city, penetrating the industrial town of Krasnohorivka from the south and east. Intense combat has been reported in the vicinity of a large brick factory in the area. A Russian military blogger emphasized the strategic significance of the battle, stating that capturing the refractory plant would effectively lead to the fall of the Krasnohorivka defenses, as the northern outskirts of the settlement, comprised of private buildings, would become exceedingly difficult to defend if the plant were lost. In the context of Russia's intensified military operations, many Western analysts and Ukrainian officials perceive these actions as a prelude to a larger offensive planned for later in the spring. It is believed that Moscow aims to capitalize on its substantial ammunition advantage before the arrival of U.S. supplies, which were authorized last week after a 6-month hiatus. The Institute for the Study of War predicts that Ukraine may face additional short-term setbacks, though it is unlikely to suffer major strategic defeats. Russian forces are expected to achieve significant tactical gains in the upcoming weeks as Ukraine awaits the delivery of U.S. security assistance to the front lines, but they are not anticipated to overpower Ukrainian defenses. One of Ukraine's primary weaknesses, which also sheds light on recent patterns on the battlefield, is its lack of manpower. A new mobilization law set to take effect next month is anticipated to enhance the conscription process. However, Kyiv has been notably hesitant to specify its need for additional soldiers, while Moscow continues to bolster its troop numbers. Rob Lee from the Foreign Policy Research Institute has noted that the quality of Russian fighters may vary, but their numerical superiority poses a significant challenge. He states, without its manpower advantage, Russia's artillery and air power would not be sufficient to achieve gains on the battlefield. The relative manpower situation is likely the most crucial factor that will determine the trajectory of the war, especially if Russia can sustain its recruitment of 20-30K individuals per month. Lee comments,